There are confrontational people in the world, and I used to make a point of sitting and looking at people like this, and the negative people. People always got something bad to say. The people who always got something that really, basically serves no good to a situation. Right? The confrontational people, you know, especially here in New York, where this is a city filled with people who look for confrontation. They say New York is the most rudest place. I've heard people come from out of town and say New Yorkers are the most rudest people, and confrontational. Right? I've noticed to be somewhat true. I come from the '80s where you got guys who, and even now you still have a lot of guys who staring you in the face and looking to fight you, or things like the era with guys, you step on somebody sneaking by mistake, somebody looking to fight you. It's always a weird kind of interaction, right? The same way where you're driven to be friendly with people and more personable, you have people who show that energy or reflect that energy in confrontation and negativity. You have women who are actually turned on by confrontation. I don't have to tell you all that. You have women who actually don't get turned on unless, there's a confrontation with a boyfriend or, a semi-fight that gets them hot. You have women that leave relationships because there's no confrontation. They don't want it nice and, regular and just smooth sailing. They don't like that. They want it rough, rugged. If it ain't rough, it ain't right. Right? Confrontational people. I see the women. I knew a situation where a guy told me, he said his woman had to hit him or get up in his face and start a fight before she actually got turned on to have sex. Right? She liked confrontation. There wasn't none of the hand holding and the romance, the nice music. It was heavy hip hop and getting punched in the damn face. That's pretty much how it started. Slapping or some madness like that. But who was I to question their little romantic interludes? So I was like, straight confrontational people. This is how they click up. It all basically is the same, when you're looking from the when you're looking from a bird's eye view. The people who have the need to confront you in a so-called positive way versus the people that confront you in a negative way. And even the abstract people who do this middle ground, Vulcan mind trick sort of thing, right? Where they reach out to you in a form of confusion. They reach out to you in all kinds of coded words and, encoded languages, things that certain people amongst them can only understand. You have a lot of teachers like this, especially in your so-called conscious community. You have a lot of abstract teachers. Their way of confronting people, their way of confronting their students or the people who are listening and hanging on to every word is to confuse them. But all of these states, right, negative, positive, all abstract, these are all confrontational things. There's not a people that could basically move about on their own vibration and grow and evolve as people. Not too many people can do that. Because people are unable to do that, not so many people are able to do that, to live in a world where they're not really bothering anybody, interacting with anybody, just basically going about their way until, you link up with people based on, the level of intelligence they on, or, how you carry a magnetic energy or whatever you connect to these people. But it's always those people who have difficulty in connecting. They are the ones who cause the confusion. Those are the ones, as I said, who are against the fusion or the coming together of people on a mental level, on an intelligence level, because they have no energy of their own. You're confrontational people. We're going to discuss that tonight. I am the intellectual ᴄᴏ_IRᴏ, and this is State of Mental Radio, and tonight we're talking about going inside the mind of the negative, confrontational, and abstract people. I can't stand abstract people. I didn't like Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest when he used to call himself Q-Tip the Abstract. He stopped being Q-Tip from the Tribe Called Quest and he became Q-Tip the Abstract. I hate abstract coded music and rhymes and stuff like that. I like story. I like rhymes or music that basically tells a story that you can follow. I don't like a lot of abstract things. You know, Wu-Tang was good for the abstract talk, believe it or not. Q-Tip and these people, De La Soul, they was good for the abstract talk. I like their music and things like that, but they like their little coded abstract talk. And you lose a big part of your audience when you do things like that because people want to be able to follow a story. Just as people want to be able to follow a knowledge or, things that you're saying, they want things to be clear. They don't want abstract. That's what's making Mentellect very popular amongst people who are listening to this message of advanced intelligence, this knowledge of higher intelligence. That it's not complicated. It's not meant to cause confusion. Our people have this idea, people in the world, for example, have this idea that the more confusing certain level of knowledge is or, a certain course of study is, the more confusing it is, the more intelligent it must be. Right? That is backwards. Why? Because the people who can simplify things to give you a universal understanding, get people basically a universal understanding of what's being said. A person that can simplify things is the intelligent person. The one who looks to complicate things to cause confusion, that's the one who's ignorant because he can only go within and explain things where it's not really connecting with the mass of people. I made it a point to simplify the things I teach in the knowledge of Mentellect. I made it a point to be able to, how they say it's so simple even a child can understand it. But you got to be a pretty smart child. You can't be a dumb kid. These people, because they have a problem connecting with people, they have a problem. Same way as the negative, and the confrontational people, the abstract people have a way have a hard time connecting with people. So they become abstract in what they're trying to teach and advocate. They become negative in what they're trying to do. I was on the Abundance show, one night, and she had a guy on there, and the guy, I forget what his name is, Bob or something, I don't know. Now, people probably get on me for talking about this guy, but not to insult the dude, but, he just basically, Baba Hayru, or I don't know if it's Nanu, Hayru, whatever. Nanu, whatever. But anyway, he sits up here and, he is saying all this abstract stuff about the ancient future and whatever, and, some concept he got out of a book. And, it was just so abstract. I'm trying to understand where he's going there, but I saw where he was trying to cause confusion. It was just a lot of interwoven things. And I hate people who do that. Anyone that causes confusion, anyone that breaks apart the fusion or the coming together of a people who are trying to get a universal understanding of something, those are the people who cause the most problems. They're the ones who create division amongst people. They're the ones who are responsible for religion. Right? They're the ones that are responsible for this misunderstanding in people, this speech barrier. These people who come with all kinds of, these people that come with all kinds of, what do I want to say, the dialects, right? You might be speaking one way in English, then somebody comes and they bring in a slang and whatever the case may be, or some kind of different dialect of what everybody's understanding, and it causes confusion. These are your abstract people because all of these type of things, different dialects and languages and things like this and philosophies, they take on a bit of the abstract because if it was just one thing that people can universally understand, something that had a universal appeal to people, then this will cause fusion and a better understanding amongst people. people wouldn't be so quick to disassociate themselves with other people. You understand? Even though right now, I know people say this, Minkare, you so quick to say don't disassociate yourself with people. And I talk about the bright race and the separation of the black race. But the reason I had to do that is because, you have things have just been so convoluted knowledge-wise and based on the understanding of how people are supposed to be advancing and evolving. So it made sense for me to bring a group of people together collectively and promote a higher level of intelligence to move them forward. It made sense to do that. Whereas everybody else is diversified in their beliefs and their philosophies and their rituals. They're the ones who are causing the confusion. These are your abstract people. How abstract is religion? How abstract is philosophy, metaphysics, and all that? How abstract is that? There's a system that was created by we don't know who, by 2 or 3 rocks or meteors or something banging together or planets banging together in this Big Bang Theory. How abstract is that? No who, what, where, why, and none of that. A lot of abstract teaching. Do we really need abstract teaching, or do we really need answers? Because by finding out the answers to the mysteries of the universe and getting concrete answers instead of abstract answers, this will help in our development mentally and our physical growth, our understanding. Abstract teachers keep people stagnant in their way of thinking. People who are concrete and the intelligence they share aid in the growth of the people. Your negative people, your confrontational people, they play a big part in this, because you can go to any church or any religious seminar, any religious whatever, anything that's affiliated with religion. And when you ask people the questions, the abstract preachers, the imams, the reverends, or whoever is teaching the abstract doctrine of religion or philosophy or metaphysics, whatever the hell they're teaching, whenever you go to these people and you really get to the nitty-gritty of what they're saying, when you try to have it broken down for you, you will always find that these people are the most negative people you ever want to run into. You'll find that out. Because they, beneath all of their abstract teachings, do not want you to find out that they really serve no purpose. They really have no idea what it is they're talking about. Their whole thing is to cause confusion. Their whole mission in life is to create a state of confusion, break people apart, cause disorder. This is the level of intelligence that they vibrate on. You got certain people that are meant to bring people together, and you got other people that are meant to break people apart. You understand? They're meant to cause confusion. They're meant to cause negativity. Right? Now, here's the kicker. They are no different than the people who bring positivity. They bring the bright smiles and the shaking of the hands and the touching and laying their hands on you and stuff like that, and they're no different. Why do I say that? Because the same people behind the positive smiles and the patting on the backs and whatnot lies the negative abstract people. Do not the people in religion come to you with a positive smile on their face and you their brother, you their sister, everybody's it's all love and all this other stuff. But then when you get to the deepness of it and the nitty-gritty of it and you start questioning these people, it just turns to a whole nother scene. I've seen it. As you start asking questions and whatnot, you start to see the true people come out, right? Because both of these mass, negative and positive, go hand in hand. Your confrontational person who looks to connect with people to cause confusion, this is the only way they can interact. This is the only way they're able to go back and forth with people. This is how they get their energy. Most of these people who are confrontational, matter of fact, all of these people who are confrontational, if you ever notice, if you ever try to sit them somewhere by themselves and watch them, observe them, You know, the people who like to cause drama, like to be the one in the middle of the fights and starting the fights, the instigators. If you ever watch these people, you'll notice that they can't sit still too long. They're the type of people, they can go someplace like Idaho or Nebraska or someplace where there's no clubs, where there's no real interaction with the people. Everybody's just got to, going about their business, smiling, keeping it moving and things like that. And these people will go, oh, this is boring. They're like, this is boring. What's the night like? What's the this, that, and third? These are people who like to be in the clubs. These are people who like to, stand around and see fights taking place. The other people that like to instigate certain things or cause confusion, right? Because these people really have no energy or any vibration on their own. So they have to feed off of people who carry an energy, like vampires. They don't get any life, no mental spark, a reason to live unless they're able to cause confrontation, cause confusion, instigate something, just anything. They live for confrontation. Just like your big mouth girlfriend who goes in the damn place and, everybody's sitting and waiting on, people, just she's the girl. You fellas know what I'm talking about. She's the girl that, she can get in a fight with a nun. Right? She can get in a fight, she can get in a confrontation with anybody. Because that's a mental disorder in her. That's a mental disorder that vibrates on that submental state, that keeps you on a bottom level, a bottom feed, right? These are the people who will never be able to cooperate with anybody, right? And you wonder why it is that black people don't have Fortune 500 companies, don't have movie industries or things sold up, because that takes cooperation. In the very word corporation, you see the word cooperation. Now, how can you build a cooperation, right? Meaning that you need one or two parties to cooperate, you understand, in the building of a corporation. You need people working together. Can confrontational people build such a system? No. People who look to cause confusion? No. This is a mental disorder, right? People who can't get along. In a group of 100 people, you'll find at least 10 instigators, 10 people who are confrontational, 10, maybe even more. I guarantee it. These are the people, when you say, okay, everybody agrees to do one thing, and then that person will be like, well, I don't know. That's how I start. Well, I don't know. When he get amongst the small group, I don't know. Why we got to do this? Why I got to be like this? Why I got to be like this? I don't know. And then the person who's listening is paying attention. If they're not weak-minded, they're saying, this person is just negative. They just looking to cause confrontation. They just looking to break up the thing. This is, like I said, they just looking to cause confusion. They looking to break apart the group. Because in that, they get energy off of it, because it's a selfish sort of thing. Right? It's a selfish sort of thing. It makes these people feel as though they accomplished something. They feel their lives are not fulfilled, right, unless they're being confrontational, unless they're being negative. And a lot of you black women, y'all sit up here and call that telling it like it is, or being not taking no mess. Right? That's what y'all call it. Right? Being strong and assertive. Right? And the black man, he called it right, not taking no shorts. I went back to use the old term, not taking no shorts, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying let anybody just take advantage of you, but, there's a thin line between people who are bordering on the confrontational and those who are standing up for themselves. People who go out here looking for trouble, right? I like David Chappelle said, when keeping it real goes wrong. That was a good skit on confrontational people. People who just got to be heard, got to be the loudest, got to be seen. This is how they burn away their energy. But if you ask these people to do something that's necessary, something that serves a purpose, all the sales, all the wind will come out of their sails. They won't be able to do it. They live off of negativity. They feed off of it. They also feed off of positivity. You know what I mean by that? Because these people, it could be one negative person, and it'd be a group of say religious people who are trying to be positive and things like that. Then that negative person will bring themselves over into that group of positive people to try to cause confusion. So they feeding off of positivity as well, right? They feed off positivity as well. Positive people feed off of negativity as well as also. Why? You ever see the girl who's a nice girl, she don't want to get in no problems, things like that, but she go looking for the bad boy? She don't want the nice guy like her. She wants the bad boy. She finds him interesting. Right? She feeds off negativity. Why? Because deep down inside it's all the same thing. Positive, negative, it's all the same thing. They look to confront each other. They look for confrontation. They feed off of each other's energy. Why is that? Why is that? Simple. Because positive and negative make up a whole person. Now, if you're just a half a person who is negative, you're constantly going to be seeking to be around a positive person to make you whole. If you're a positive person, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be seeking out a negative person to make you feel whole. They make up in places and areas where you lack. If you feel like you're not negative enough, or you're not aggressive enough, that's what they call it, being aggressive. If you're not negative enough, you look for somebody to make that up, in a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Or if you just too negative, you tend to look for positive people to be around to soften you. But it makes up a complete person. And what we do, and what I'm promoting in the knowledge of mental is we're supposed to come as full people. With us, there's no such thing as positive or negative. In my mind, there's really no such thing as positive or negative. Right? It's the same thing. It's the complete makeup of a whole person. Right? Once you understand that there's really no need for there's no more need for confrontation anymore. You don't need to confront people to make a connection with them or to cause a confusion. Because in that confusion, you're trying to enact a fusion with somebody who makes you a whole person. You're dissatisfied. You're unhappy. Right? Most of these people who do these things, like I said, they are dissatisfied and unhappy. You're abstract people. Let's go back to them for a second. These guys who teach this abstract stuff, they make sure that their mindset is they want to be the smartest people in they want to be the smartest people in the group, right? The ones who cause confusion. These are usually the people who were in high school, who nobody dealt with, nobody talked to. They was basically nobodies most of the time growing up. So they learn a little bit of knowledge, right? They get they read a few books, or a lot of books. They formulate their own theories and philosophies from these books, from said books, and then they go out and they make it a point to try to show everybody how ignorant they are. Right? This is what they do. They make a point to do that. Why? Because these people now feel important. They're happy putting people down. They feel good. They feel good within themselves. So, in doing that, in being able to shoot people down, in being able to make people feel bad about their lives in order to make yourself feel good, like I said, that is the person who is confrontational, the one who causes confusion. You got people who just go amongst the public right now, and like I said, they can start a fight. They can just set it off any kind of way. It doesn't matter, because that makes them happy. These people vibrate on a low mental frequency. And people who vibrate on a low mental frequency, they're always looking for a higher charge. They want to be charged up in some way, shape, or form. They can't find that charge within themselves. Or they got to go out and read a book. They have to go out and read and consume much information. Right? Because they're trying to actually create a spark in their mind. They're not going to read any of those books and be verbatim with it. They're trying to actually create a spark in their mind, something that's not naturally there. Right? Confrontational people do this. It's all about trying to create a spark somewhere, trying to create an energy somewhere, trying to create a fusion or cause a confusion somewhere. That's what it's all about. People causing problems, interacting, where you don't naturally have something that would draw people towards you. You got people based on how they talk, based on how they carry themselves, based on how they move about in the world. They attract people. Your confrontational people, they don't have this ability. That's why they have to cause confrontation to be noticed. They have to do something to be noticed. They always got to be the loudest person in the damn group, right? They always got to go to the club and they got to dance the wildest, right? She's always a chick in the group. She got on the loudest damn dress than everybody, the most makeup, because she wants confrontation. She wants somebody to comment on it. And then nobody comments on whether it's good or bad. Guys say something about how fat her behind is or how much makeup she got on. She feels validated, right? She feels validated. Somebody interacted with her or him, right? He makes it a point to be flashy, right? Because on his own, just talking to somebody, he can't do that. He can't get noticed. He doesn't have any it factor to cause people to pull in their attention toward him. Confrontational. They want forefront attention, right? This is what they want, forefront attention. And people always give it to them in some way, shape, or form. They always do. These people are what I call dry ice, right? Dry ice. Always frozen, right? They carry this mentality, whereas, if I'm not being paid attention to, if I'm not the center of attraction for no other reason, then I'm going to do something to make myself seen. I'm going to make myself noticed. Now, like I said, people might argue and say, I'm that type. They would, or misunderstand and think I'm that type of way. There's a difference between advocating something and promoting a message and having something to say versus a person who's just talking to be talking, just to be seen, just to be noticed. It was a time where I said to myself, I would do this radio broadcast and not be seen or have my face on Facebook or anything, but I knew that would be impossible over time because people by nature are going to be curious to see where this, who's coming out with this intelligence, who's sharing this intelligence with people, who is the face behind it. That's why I ended up doing the Facebook page, right? Promoting on my Facebook page, right? To get people to understand that, true intelligence, true necessity for bringing forward a message does not have to be, seek attention or be confrontational. The message speaks for itself. The message speaks on its own. The words speak on their own, right? Confrontational people, they don't have anything to say. Abstract people, they don't have anything to say. Their whole thing is to get attention focused on them. This is the mindset behind these people. They want all attention on them because to them, attention on them is more important than what they have to say because they really have nothing to say at all. Watch the confrontational person. Watch the abstract person. Watch the person who tries to cause confusion and trying to explain the simplest things. Look at your conscious community. Look at your philosophers. Look at your people out here who write books every day, the books that y'all go out here and consume. And like I said, black people, we are the type of people, we love to be confused. We love that somebody to make things hard and trying to explain something to us because, like I said, if it's not hard, if it's not abstract, if it's not over our heads, we don't, or somebody's speaking a different language or using different vernacular, using certain words that we don't quite understand, then it must be smart. They must be saying something. I got to pay attention to that person, right? I have to pay attention. I have to make a point of listening to that person because they got something smart to say, right? This is what they do in the educational system, right? This is what they do when they promote that whole label of a genius, right? People who using all kinds of scientific equations and, mathematical things, and they saying all this stuff over your head, meant to cause confusion, meant for you to look at it and go, oh, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to listen. I can't, my brain can't handle that. That's what it's meant to do. So that you can place these people on pedestals and call them geniuses, right? Because they understand encoded messages, language that certain people share within the scientific community. They understand that type of stuff because you read enough books, you amongst a certain amount of people, you'll get that in time. But the person who could break these things down, the person who could give it to you in layman's terms, the person who could deliver an intelligence to you that's just common, or using regular words, things that you can understand, people tend to devalue those type of people, right? I wrote the simplest books on, I think, easy to understand. Like I said, I wrote it for 5 and 6 year olds to understand. Now, people tend to think, 5 and 6 year olds are childlike, simple minds and whatnot, but actually, they're very intelligent because at no other time is your brain going to be that open. Again, when you're from 3 to 6 or 7 years old, there's no time where your brain will be that open to receive intelligence again. Because what happens is you become adulterated by these people who are abstract thinkers. You become adulterated by confrontational people, by negative people. You become adulterated with their limited way of thinking. They close your mind. They work on closing your mind up. So once that happens, once that takes place, you can't receive anything again. Or you close your mind to the possibility of receiving anything. You start saying things like there's nothing new coming, where there's no new knowledge that you'll be able to move forward on or gravitate to, because you've already accepted their explanation that there's nothing new under the sun for you to glom onto, for you to advance yourself by. This is a fact. Confrontational people, like I said, they will come to you in every level. They will approach you as friends. They will approach you as boyfriends and girlfriends. They will approach you on every level, right? Just to bring problems in your life. You can have a confrontational person that deals with you in the realm of relationships, and they come to you and they'll tell you that they love you and they'll spend time with you, and they'll put energy into you, do all the things, the sweet things to get you linked into them, right? You'll start having feelings for these people. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they'll sever their ties with you, or they'll cause a problem. What you don't understand is that these people already had this in their mind to do, that they were confrontational already. They were looking to build up certain situations over time and then knock them down. They were looking to come together with you and knock you down over time. This is their nature. This is the nature of the confrontational person. People who look to go out and argue and cause problems. You got this today. You have this today, and also foreign affairs, your politicians, right? All confrontational people. Why? Because in your so-called animal kingdom, right, where animals are forced to confront each other because they share same space, your wilderness, people really are not that much different. You start to learn that about people, that they're really not that much different. The human animal is no different than the four-legged animal. Confrontational. How many people do you know, right, that can actually go about their lives basically moving on their own vibration and attracting people based on that vibration of who they are? Not interacting, not causing any confusion in their life, not coming in to alter anything in their life, but these people have chosen to come to them to have their lives altered. I'm talking about people who are not looking to change your life. You come to them looking to change based on who they are. You're saying that these people have a even keel on which they move, if they have a certain principle of which they carry themselves, a certain code of conduct, you say to yourself, well, damn, why is it that these people are so together and that they're able to walk on that even line and they don't seem to have any real problems, or they don't seem to get all bent out of shape over things. They're not looking to confront anybody. They're just peaceful. You understand? Or they're being I didn't want to use the word peaceful. They're satisfied in their life. Right? How is that possible to be like that person? This is what people seek out in the people who do that, or who are able to accomplish that way of life. That's what we were trying to do in the state of Mentel, trying to breed people who are satisfied in their way of life. Because when you breed people that are satisfied in their way of life, doesn't mean that they don't want to change their way of life or upgrade their way of life. It means that they are producing an action, aka in the word satisfaction or satisfying action, or they're living their lives daily in the light of change. The people who are changing their lives and whatnot, who are evolving in their way of thinking, they're satisfied with each moment, each minute, each second of their lives because they're doing something worthwhile, something necessary to bring change. This is the satisfied person. Unlike what they teach you, satisfied means that the people who are satisfied in this language, they teach you that the person who's satisfied in their life is a person who basically is stagnant in their life and not making a change. This is incorrect. Because in the word satisfied, or in the word satisfaction, right? In the word satisfaction, you see the word action, right? It's not there for no reason. Because an action has to be taking place for you to be satisfied by, meaning that you have to be living your life in a state of evolution or movement in order for change to be, in order for it to be satisfying or have satisfaction in your life. Certain things have to be changing in the course of your life. How many people are able to live this way? This is what we wanted to promote in the state of Mentel through the knowledge of Mentellect. People who are creating a satisfactory or satisfaction within their lives. People who have no need for confrontation. Right? People who have no need for confrontation. That's why I shut all that stuff down about the racism and things like that in my posts. And you heard in my broadcast where I stopped with the white man this, the black man this. Because I said, in truth, it's all the same people. I said, I deal with necessary people, useful people. I don't care about black and white. Because I don't define myself by those terminologies anyway of white and black and white. I'm not a black man. I'm a bright man. One who carries an intelligence or a higher form of intelligence. I can look at my skin already based on the description of it and say that my skin is not black, it's brown. So it can't be a physical description. I don't vibrate back and forth on, or go back and forth about this him against us or us against them. I don't deal with that. These are people who are not satisfied in their lives. These are the people who need confrontation, whether it's the Ku Klux Klan, whether it's the Black Panthers, whether it's these people go back and forth. They both need each other. They need the confrontation, right, to give them life, to feed energy to them. Because if you notice, if you look at these people's lives, without the Klan calling black people niggers or the kikes to the Jews or whatever, or you look at the so-called Panthers or the black nationalists, they're not calling somebody a cracker or whatever, or blaming the Jews or whatever the case may be. You take all of that out. It's like you took the venom out of the snake. You took the fangs out. You took out their reason for living, their confrontational ways. Their need to interact with these people, their need to blame people, their need to cause confusion. You took away that. These are the type of people that join these organizations and movements. Confrontational people, negative people, right? Negative people that are seeking some sort of positive outcome within themselves, but they never really find it. Confrontational people. How simple would it have been to create a movement where people are about advancing themselves collectively without blaming anybody else for their problem? Because you can blame people all day for your problem. You can confront people all day. You can blame people, everything you could do, and it's not going to change your condition. That's what we want to do within the state of Mentel. To have a people just totally focus on themselves, nobody else. Not racism, not black, not white, nothing. Just totally focus on the satisfaction of themselves and satisfying themselves every day within the evolution of themselves. We don't look for confrontation. Right? We don't look for abstract lessons, teachings. Nothing that's going to, things that cause confusion have never been good. If you leave half of the people out who don't understand, and your whole thing is geared at teaching everybody, then obviously your teaching is abstract. You're not simplifying what it is you're trying to say. You're trying to purposely cause confusion. Right? You get this all the time in your people who have this mindset of what they consider to be nirvana or what they consider to be bliss. Right? They tell you that meditation is bliss. They tell you that certain rituals bring you bliss, peace of mind. Right? But by the very thing of you talking about having peace of mind, you produce chaos. Because if I constantly have to be reminded of having peace of mind, then I'm being reminded that I have to run away from chaos, that I have to shield myself from chaos. So now I produced chaos in my equation, where both might not have been my thought in the first place. What if I think beyond chaos and think beyond peace? What if I think beyond good and evil? What if I think beyond those confrontational points? Right? What if I think beyond good and bad, beyond positive and negative? Because both of those two things which you think are separate, which are really the same, rely on confrontation. God and the devil, good and evil, black and white, all based in confrontation, which is the distraction to slow down your evolution. Confrontation brings distraction, because while you're focused on confrontation, while you're focused on, this us against them and this them against us, you're not focusing on the collective you. You're not focusing on satisfying yourself, achieving things, accomplishing things, because now you're part of a course that is about confrontation. You've come into a group where your very existence depends upon, or your very core of what you believe is about us against them, these people, not about the betterment. That's why, like I said, if you look at any of these groups, I don't care the white hate groups, the black hate groups, you never see these people accomplish anything in their lives. They never have a platform in which they're standing on. You don't see the toothless white guy from the Ku Klux Klan. You don't see these guys going to college. You don't see these guys becoming doctors. And some of them are in the higher ranking, but you never see the ones that end up getting recruited into things becoming anything worthwhile. They always working at the Quickie Mart or McDonald's, and they talking about the Mexicans coming over and taking their jobs, because that's confrontation. Right? They got to have somebody to blame for taking their $5 or $6 an hour job. This is what they fighting so hard to maintain. Right? The people that don't have, the haves and the have-nots, the people that don't have two dimes to rub together. They fighting so hard, and they blaming somebody, because it's not about the people. It's just about anybody. It's just confrontation. Like I said, if you took all of the black people out of this country, these people would still have a problem. They would start flipping on each other, and they would start causing confrontation with each other. Oh, that person here is too blonde. We don't like blonde people. We don't like brunettes. We don't like redheads. You took all the white people out from amongst your confrontational black hate groups. They'd be like, oh, you too light-skinned, you too dark-skinned, oh, you too brown. They'll just make up an excuse, because that's what confrontational people do. Right? Their whole point is to cause confusion. Their whole point is to serve themselves. Questions, comments? Questions, comments? I said it was our broadcast. Right? We got 10 minutes till we take the break, because you know I usually run my mouth for about the first hour. Right? Questions and comments on confrontational people. Right? Like I said, I usually don't take or play music until the hour. But I'm going to tell you a little story before I do play the music. We like music here. I don't force people to listen to me. Like I said, I know people love the things that come out of my mouth and whatnot. And, they like what they term to be intelligence. But there's a sentimental side to everything. When I did the broadcast on the difference between being emotional and sentimental, there's a sentimental side to this broadcast. I had a I guess I want to call her a girlfriend, right? Very confrontational lady. I used to call her a little stick of dynamite, right? Very confrontational, very warrior-like, right? Very passionate. Now that I can look back and see, she actually when I was thinking, I was thinking about the state of mental and, where I want to go in the future and having the right person by my side. Like all men who are really thinking about their future, they start thinking to themselves, what kind of woman you want to have by your side, right? Or you women who are trying to go somewhere, you start thinking to yourself, what kind of man do you want by your side, right? If you're really thinking about that, right? If you're really thinking about where you're going, you start saying to yourself, do I want somebody who's confrontational around me? Do I want somebody where everything is a problem? And my answer was no. Because people, confrontational people, like I said, the girl who can bring you around, guys and whatnot, and, whether they're in the streets and whatever the case may be, you heard these stories 1,000 times where a girl will bring a guy around the neighborhood. Know that the guys in the neighborhood all want to get with her. But she wants to see confrontation. Next thing you know, this kid gets killed in the neighborhood. Because, not so much because they wanted the confrontation, but she wanted to see the confrontation. She was the catalyst. So that's what I saw in this individual. Though she wasn't that deep or drastic with it and whatnot, this is how confrontation and confrontational people react. They don't mind, they don't care if somebody gets hurt, as long as they're able to derive some sort of energy from it, some sort of charge from that. Because being in the submental state, being in this state of walking zombies, being in this state of the mentally dead, where there is no real mental stimulation, where there is no real force of life, there is no real movement of intelligence going through this atmosphere, or at least it's being slowed down, people are looking to be stimulated. People are looking for stimulation all the time. You know how you know that's the truth? Because why is that these reality shows where all these people do, like I said, all these play things all day, is confront each other, fight each other, pull hair out, throw each other on the floor. Millions of people sit up there and watch that. Your confrontational sports are your most popular sports, as I said. Football, boxing, right? Sports like golf, they're not that popular. They're popular, but they're not as popular. Your confrontational sports are your popular sports. People like to see confrontation because that's been bred in us. To like to see people at each other's throats. To like to see people fighting. To like to see people in a state of confusion, being broken apart, bidding us against them. Are you that sort of thinker? Are you the person who goes back and forth? Do you seek to come amongst people in a bond? That's the question we always ask within the state of mental. We don't want confrontational people. We don't want people that vibrate on that submental state. We don't want walking zombies. Certain people are thinking on their own already, right? Certain people are thinking on a higher level. These are the people that we wanted to appeal to within the state of mental. We wanted people who are their own how I want to say, best way I can describe it is like their own radio stations. People who were receiving their own messages and frequencies. People who weren't vibrating and running off of the energy of confrontation and confrontational people. People who weren't moving in a pack. Because you got grown people in their 30s and their 40s still moving in a roving pack of confrontational people, because this is where they draw their energy from. They hang out with these people. They interact with these people based on confrontation, not so much for a connection, not so much for a mental connection. It's really just active confrontation, back and forth. If you're sitting around with somebody and you find them, every time you turn around, they got something negative to say about somebody, they talking about somebody, they just, it's just nonsense all the time, back and forth. These are confrontational people, and you're obviously a confrontational person if you can stand to be around these people. You understand? You are obviously a confrontational person. What does that tell you about yourself? For all you people that say you want to get into the meditation and things like that and you want to become so-called spiritual, you have to first confront this within yourself, your need for confrontation. Do you feed on this? Do you stay around people who push this mentality? 9 times out of 10 you do, because you're still listening to abstract philosophers and teachers who do nothing but cause confrontation, who do nothing but push individualism. This is reality. This is real. If you can confront this in yourself, if you could be honest with yourself in this, in this assessment of yourself, then you will start yourself on the path of satisfying yourself. I guarantee you, all the problems in your life, all the problems that you have in your life are based on confrontation. Either you were in a certain confrontation with people, or you hung around confrontational people. You hung around confrontational people. I want to play a little music because I'm about 3 minutes in. I'm not going to take 3 minutes to find a song, but I will play a new one from Blue Six. Let me see. Something nice and good length, because I want some coffee. Let me see. I just saw it too. Brand new Blue Six. I'll play one more night. I'm pretty sure y'all heard this before. We'll be right back. I had people argue with me on Facebook, for the sake of arguing. People who disagreed with the things I said, not because they had a real intelligent argument to base it on. It was solely for the fact, now that I see it, that these people wanted to be confrontational. This is how they get their attention. I had people show up here in the chat room on a few broadcasts just to, interact with the people. I mean, they showed up on a few. They say that what I'm teaching is BS, I'm full of this, I'm full of that, and whatever the case may be, but you keep showing up to listen to my broadcasts. Why do you do that? Why do you show up to listen to the broadcast, get in the chat room and start arguing and, causing confusion? Why do you do that? It's just as simple as just not to listen. And I realize that I give you people who do this, I give your lives meaning. Right? I give your lives meaning. I give you a reason to exist. Because, and I think that's kind of special. Because some part of your day, you sit up and you think to yourself, I'm going to take time to disagree with what this person is saying. I'm going to take time, like 2 hours out of my life to listen to this person's show just to come in the chat room and cause confusion. What makes you do that? I mean, I would, if I didn't agree with what somebody was saying, I just wouldn't listen to them. I wouldn't comment on any of their posts. I wouldn't do any of that. But I understand that you people are operating from a whole different other set of rules, and your way of thinking is different. when you're dealing with a confrontational person, everything you say is wrong. No matter what you say, everything is wrong. Everything is, off. No matter how much sense it makes. I've had people, like I said, sit up here, and curse me out on Facebook, disrespect me just because they disagree with what I said. No intelligent argument on why, other than the fact that who you think you are, this confrontational thing. Like I said, it's an illness in a way. It's a mental illness. I don't know if it can be fixed. I don't know if you can balance out people who think like this. I don't know if you really can. This is the one thing I said, well, I don't really know. Well, in a way, I do know. I'll say that because, like I said, you got certain people who they'll listen to things and they can't really follow, or they can't see themselves going or leaving the level of thinking or that level of their mindset or where they at. They can't see that. They can't see themselves being satisfied with their lives or causing a satisfaction or going into a state of satisfaction in their life. They can't see that. They've been living this way for so long. They've been used to dealing with confrontational people. They've been used to having drama in their life. They've been used to all this. So if these people actually didn't have that, they wouldn't know how to react. They wouldn't know how to react. That wouldn't be real to them. That's not, they'd be out of place. It'll feel like putting them on Mars somewhere. They wouldn't know how to interact with people where there was no confrontation. Right? They wouldn't know how to get along in the world because this is what they understand. This is all that they understand. You can't change that in certain people. Only people who end up coming amongst us are the people who are looking to get away from the confrontation, because in them already is a mindset to produce satisfaction in their own lives, to become better within themselves. Right? Confrontational people need other people to make themselves feel better. I don't care if you, like I said, you in a relationship and you sitting around talking about this, my other half bull crap, right? Where you sitting around and I'm trying to find my other half, or I'm trying to find my better self, or whatever you're looking for in a relationship. You don't see that as a form of confrontation, but it actually is. You're looking to confront the other side of you, who you think the other side of you is, the person that will make you feel complete and whole. You understand? Instead of saying, I'm looking to get together with somebody who's on the same level as me, I want to come as a full person. I'm not looking to come and confront that person. I'm looking to come together with that person equally. As they used to say, equally yoked, as a whole and full person. Somebody who can add to your very already full life. Like I said, all these relationships today, the majority of them are based on confrontation, on negativity, on uselessness. Right? That's why they end so fast. Because once the confrontation goes out, once you guys done beat each other up or cursed each other out and did all this, then comes a quiet time. There comes a contemplation time. There comes a time where that's no longer fun. See? Because like I said, it's just like a screaming child. Once a child does all the screaming and crying, a baby does all the screaming and crying, after a while the baby's going to settle down. They'll stop crying because they're going to tire themselves out. That's what happens with you people who are confrontational. You'll get with somebody who based on the confrontation that you were looking for, and after a while, where y'all done cursed each other out, y'all done cheated on each other, y'all did all the things y'all could do, everything under the sun in the relationship, then what happens? It starts to bottom out. She ready to bolt. She ready to leave, or he ready to leave because it's not exciting anymore. The confrontation is gone. The thrill is gone. That's really why these people break up. The thrill is gone. There's no more confrontation. There's no more drama. The woman will say, oh, he boring. He don't want to do nothing. He don't want to fight. He don't want to argue. The woman will say the same thing. Believe it or not, you got women who like to see their men cheat on them because this gives them a reason to confront the woman, confront him, fight somebody, right? That warrior mentality. I knew that a young lady, like I said, she be out there, her daughters be in the street fighting other girls. Y'all pretty much heard this story from every project around the world. The damn daughters in the street fighting, and the mother come out, she fighting in the streets with the daughters. Right? She fighting in the streets. They in the street fighting together. Got their heads wrapped up. Why? Because she passed on that confrontational gene to her children. Right? She passed that on to her children. Right? She probably, the child or these children were made while the girl was in that state of confrontation with the man. Right? Arguing, fighting, fussing, beating on each other. So when a child comes out like that, like I said, when a child comes out and they in school and they want to fight and they want to go to school, they got emotional problems and whatnot. They want to fight somebody, they want to confront somebody. They don't like a girl because she too pretty, or they don't like some boy because he don't like them because they feel they ugly and this, that, and the third. Or and like I said, she turned violent. Next thing, she locked up. With the same thing with him. That starts off early. That starts off early in the making of children. So make sure when you are with somebody and you decide to intelligently bring life and produce life on the planet, always have somebody that you are in sync with and that you're satisfied with mentally. That you come into something as two whole people, not looking to come in as half and half, negative and positive. Because when you come in as that, that's always a confrontation. That interaction is based on confrontation. Those are like two fists coming together to punch at each other. You're always going to produce that confrontation. He'll always do something that you don't like because you're, of course, supposed to be positive and he's negative. Or vice versa. You got women who go out here and cheat on their man not because they really into any other guys, but they do it for confrontation and get caught on purpose. Some women, I've seen women do that. You know, they like the drama, they like the confrontation, they like the sneaking around and things like that, and the idea that they just might get caught and what might happen. Right? That excites them. That makes them happy. They get into relationships, or they go in there interfere in other people's relationships. Women will go and cheat and find men who are married, happily married. And you got a lot of women who do this. They'll find men who are happily married or with somebody, and they'll try to get up with this guy, not because they into the guy, but because they want to have in their mind that they made his woman look like a fool. And they hope eventually down the line that there's going to be confrontation with the woman. You got women like that. Okay. I'm going to take a call. 918. 918, you're on the air. Hey, 918.
I meant to call in earlier and listen, and I'm listening to what you're saying about children and how it starts early. Mm-hmm. And DNA is never created, it's just replicated. Mm-hmm. And I think it's wise to look at your partner as a potential donor of DNA, male or female. I think you're very wise in saying that. But about public school, perhaps it's more wise to teach your child yourself. Because that's nothing but socialization in the schools. And, if they don't believe that we're endowed by our Creator, they teach the child that they're endowed by their state. Mm-hmm. And they're teaching them how to think. They're no longer teaching logic and rhetoric. All that's out the window. So how do you fight? How do you argue? How do you support your theory, your words, when you don't know how? People sometimes go to their hands, their fists.
That is true.
And I have a situation where I have this woman, this grown woman, who should know better. She keeps interfering with my real life. And I really do not know how to handle this. And I fed the demon. Sometimes it's better not to feed the hate, but I have fed the hate. And I was wondering, by the title of your show, if you had any advice. Do you need some background on this?
Do I need any advice? Do I have any advice on how not to feed hate?
No, not that. This woman, she's on I have a show on Blog Talk, as does she. And I don't know if you're familiar with Blog Talk, that sometimes there's drama that happens.
Oh, okay. No,
she takes it off, like she's called my minor children. I got another threat from her today. Another threat. I've tried ignoring her. Mm-hmm. I stayed off Blog Talk for months. There was 1 month she started sending me threats. If you mention my name on Blog Talk one more time, I wasn't even on Blog Talk. I mean, they're rants. I mean, you can tell by the way they're written. How do you deal with a person that is so focused that they cannot see anything but one thing? I don't know if I'm explaining this right without really being slanted.
I'm gonna take a stab at this and ask you a question. Have you ever met this woman before?
No, but she wanted to meet me at a casino. She wanted a threesome with her husband. I mean, just
there we go.
That I did not feel comfortable with.
I figured it. I was getting ready to say she's sexually attracted to you. That's all that is.
Oh, but she also hates me. It's obvious she hates me.
But that's the sexual attraction. She's obviously a sadomasochist. She probably want to choke you, do all kind of stuff to you, and freak off with you or whatever. So obviously that's how she's into confrontational sex. She wants to fight you and whatnot.
That's
explained
really
earlier.
true. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I think she's that way with her husband, from what she told me personally.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I never thought of it that way.
She's getting off on it. She don't really. She wants to fight you in bed, and and y'all freak off together. And that's what she wants.
And the only thing that really gets to me is when she talks about the topic of my children. Like even last month on BTR, she sent me from her BTR account to my BTR account how she had looked at pictures of my children.
Mhm.
I mean, and this woman has called my children on the phone. Asked my then 14-year-old if she wanted to go down to the state this woman was living in. I'll pay for the air flight and da-da-da. I mean, beyond bizarre.
Wow.
But because, quote unquote, she didn't do anything illegal, I couldn't do anything to her. I had to establish a pattern of behavior. The more messages that she sends, the more patterns I have. And now that she sent another threat today, I may have enough where I can get a protective order at least.
Yeah, that's crazy. She, like I said, she's obsessed with you, obviously.
But how do I let this get to me personally? And I have a nickname for her that I say on BTR, and I'm not nice about it. I'll be upfront about it because it's my kids. I go ballistic. I really go, hyper, just... nothing comes between me and my girls. I have 2 daughters. And just, oh, my God, are you serious? I've even gone to the point where I do copy and paste to the chat rooms what she sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Every single word.
Well, like I said, it just seemed, like I said, you probably would have gave her, I don't know, like I said, she wanted to do something with you. She saw your pictures. She was turned on by. Had you given in probably to her sexual advances, she probably would have calmed her down because she would have got her into action and she would have got a chance to confront you or whatever, But then who knows?
That makes perfect sense. I never saw that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's fine.
And the people that she acts like this with, are people that she's either made advances toward in person or over the internet. Because usually she's like this with men.
Well, she's like I said, sexually confrontational person. And like I said, she probably feels as though you rejected her in some kind of way when you didn't take up on it, or she does this whenever she doesn't get her way. It's her way of reacting.
I did some research for a script that I'm writing for Showtime, and it's on sex cam girls.
Oh, yeah.
And she would show up in they have a chat room for those sex cam things. And I would be fully clothed, mind you. Maybe I might show my breasts sometimes, but that's about it. I did a lot of talking to whoever was watching, asking, now, why do you like to watch? And, are you lonely at night? Is it this? Is it that? And she would come in there, and I would know it was her by how she was typing and what she was typing. I couldn't get away from her. that really makes sense to me. Really makes sense. And I'm an adult, and I can do research, or even if I was doing it for fun, I wasn't hurting anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just,
Well,
but you really opened my eyes. That makes perfect sense.
Are you attracted to her?
No. I mean, she has smoked for years, and you can tell on her face. And just because of her personality, I do like women. But I usually like women of color.
Okay.
You know, most of the women I've been with, you know, there was this one that I was deeply in love with, and she was half Samoan and half Hawaiian, and she was really tall. You know, a lot of the women I fall in love with, they're tall, and this woman is not tall. And she's blonde and blue-eyed. There's no way I would ever touch her.
Oh,
and I've told her this before. I said, you're not my type. You know, this is the type of woman I like. You know, we're just talking about sexuality in general. This is when we were on speaking terms. I never even thought of it that way. That's why she calls me a whore all the time.
Yeah, you rejected her. She probably got rejected in high school, and you just probably brought her back to a time in her life where she was rejected by guys, girls, whatever, you know, so.
It's funny because she starts talking about high school. Well, you probably weren't the homecoming queen and this and that. I was. I mean, who talks about homecoming queens? And I mean, I'm in my early 40s. I don't know anybody in their 40s that automatically reverts back to high school. Oh my gosh, you're very good at this. Well, what is your name again? Because I remember watching the show description.
Oh, my name is ᴍᴏ. My name is ᴍᴏ. My friends know me as the intellectual. I use the title.
Do you have a hard time answering spiritual questions sometimes?
Spiritual questions? I don't really deal with spirituality because I recognize the special rituals that people tend to form and things that are connected to religion. I deal more with the mental because I acknowledge that all things are mental. Everything is dealing with higher mental senses.
Well, the reason why I ask is that I find a lot of people that are intellectually minded, when they're trying to find an answer to a spiritual question, they look for an intellectual answer, and the two do not mix. They're like oil and water because it's two different worlds.
Well, actually
I was just
not.
kind of curious.
Well, actually not.
So that's just my perspective.
Well, no. Let me say why not. I say because, you know, people never equate. When people equate intelligence, they always think of it in this realm or in this physical realm as that something of man. When intelligence goes is continuous, everything that, you know, is around us, the earth, our, you know, genetic makeup is based on intelligence. So intelligence is beyond man. So, you know, it's, you know, when people are talking about spiritual, it's all, you know, intelligence is all relative to intelligence. Higher intelligence, lower intelligence. So I just deal with intelligence.
Maybe a better word is energy. Energy.
Well, it carries an intelligent frequency. It all carries a frequency based on how you think. You know.
It does. You know, the dendrites, synapses, even your gut has a lot to do with your intelligence, because the basis for the synapses, for your neurotransmitters in your brain, that starts in your gut. And literally, if you eat that garbage, that processed food, it's going to poison your gut and it's going to poison your mind. There is a legitimate connection. I don't know where I'm going there, but I was just thinking.
Okay.
Just thinking. But, well, I had listened for a few moments before, and I found your show interesting and thought I would call.
Thank you
find
for
out what
calling
your thoughts were. And that gave me a really good insight. I think I might discuss that with my friend, because I have to find a way to get her to stop, because it's just not healthy. It's just not healthy.
You feel like you got yourself a stalker, but I know you'll come up with something.
I do. I really do.
You'll come up with something to unhinge her, you know.
Well, you know, she just went and got help or got on some medication.
Yeah.
You know, I would back off of saying derogatory things about her, but I'm just trying to get her to back off. Everything I do, it seems to backfire. Just anything I do.
Try ignoring her. Like I said.
Oh, I tried that for months.
Okay.
And then she started having people call me to come back to Blog Talk Radio, and she would have people call me, and then I would end up on her blog talk radio show. Like they were pranking me, basically. I mean, just she wouldn't let go. I mean, I was off for like 6 months. You know, I had other things in my life, and
well, yeah, like I said, you know, when you take the fangs out of a snake, eventually the snake will, like, you know, they're harmless. So take her fangs out by stopping the interaction with her, you know, and that's it. And, like, you know, or force her hand all the way into the interaction and call her bluff on the things, because she might be bluffing with a lot of things. So.
Well, how should I call her bluff? How would you do that?
Well, you have to, I don't know the whole situation, and you would have to just basically know who it is you're dealing with, you know, how far she would take it, because a lot of times people just, like I said, she gets off on terrifying you or trying to, you know, wreak havoc in your life. So, you know, try to figure out how you can actually call her bluff and, you know, see how far she'll go, because usually when you call someone's bluff, like, they'll back off you.
Mhm.
It's like fighting the bully. Once you fight
the bully,
I
even tried to get her a show on a terrestrial radio in her city, and it's a major market radio show, and she wouldn't even go for it, and it was tailor-made for her.
Which city is this?
Well, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about her in detail, but
it
was a major market radio show. It was a country show, and it was just a part-time job on the weekend. She watches her grandson during the week, so I thought this would be a really good job for her. It's part-time and involves some promotions. She's worked with the public before, presumably, from what she said. And her heart had really, she wanted to do terrestrial radio. And I thought, to get her out of my hair, I'll get her something that she can do, she loves, she's passionate about, and maybe she might be grateful enough to leave me alone. Didn't work. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so you guys are not in the same city.
No, I'm a state away. That makes it more difficult to get a protective order. I have to establish a pattern of behavior.
Okay.
You know, I even sent her a do not contact letter, certified mail. You have to let someone know that you want no contact with them. Okay. You know, in order, if you're not related to them or dating them. Well, in my state.
Well, you're building enough of a file on her, and you're documenting your stuff. Just keep everything documented and let her know you're documenting everything, and she's being watched and things like that. And you know, that should back up somewhere. Okay.
All right. Well, I know you got other callers, so do you mind putting me on mute? I'd like to hear the rest of your show.
Sure, that's fine. All right.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in. What's your name?
My name is Angela, or they sometimes call me Bathtub Girl, because I call when I'm in the bathtub, like right now. So.
Oh, okay, Bathtub Girl. All right. Thanks for calling in, Angela.
Thank you. All
right. Angela, Bathtub Girl with confrontational people. Wow. I want to play a little bit of music. My brother Reginald called back in after this song. Call back in. I want to hear what you got to say about confrontational people. My brother Reginald. I ain't forget you, bro. Call back in. Let me play this, take this little break. You know, I'm always trying to see what I want to play before I, let me see. I wanted to play some more Blue Six, and I will play some more Blue Six. Let me see. Fast Delivery by Blue Six. We'll be right back. Taking a call from 510, my brother Reginald. Reginald, you on the air, Reginald.
Peace, Newman.
Peace.
That was my joint right there, bud.
Like that?
That was my joint, cuz, for real.
Okay.
Hey, this is a good topic again tonight. Another hot topic.
Yeah. I don't see the usuals. I don't see my usual. I'm like wondering, did everybody go? Did people go shopping and whatnot? Thanksgiving shopping. I don't see the usuals in here.
Wow.
I know they'll pick it up. I know they'll pick it up over the course of the day, like the course of the week, because we usually get most of our listeners come from we average about 70 listeners a night, and we pick up at least 300 to 400 before the week is out and download. You know?
Oh yeah, the downloads are. Yeah, they
download.
Yeah, they probably busy. You know, I can't help but I can't miss no shows. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. It's part of what I do.
Mhm.
You know, but we talking about confrontation, huh? Man, confrontation.
Mhm.
Hey,
yes,
hey, bro, you picking up some eclectic listeners too, man.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that was trippy. I could tell she was in the bathtub, man. I heard the water. I was like,
I heard the water in the background.
I was like, either Nuben is in the tub or this chick is in the tub, yo.
Yeah,
I knew somebody was in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she sound kind of sexy or what have you, but she having a problem with a stalker. You know, but if you doing like, did she say she was doing like camera shots, sexual programming where she might show her breast? Did she say that?
I believe so.
Oh well, you know, that's just like the sister that posts half naked pictures on Facebook, and then when the brothers react to her, then she finds it offensive. It's the same. It's basically the same thing. But I mean, if confrontational people, if you feed into their confrontation, then that's when it's going to continue, and it will continue to affect you. Just like you said, all you got to do is ignore them. That's what I did in my household, and it's not ignoring them for 6 months. It's ignoring them continuously.
You got to ignore ignorant people. That's the word. You know, the word ignorant and ignore is the same. You know, it's the same phonetic. So, you know, you got to ignore the ignorant people.
Yeah, and they will go away. They will go away one way or the other. They'll go away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if you do it continuously, you'll find yourself in a peaceful situation. And I'm speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, because they whole thing is confrontation. If you don't give somebody something to push back against, or you pushing up against something, then they gonna go find someplace else to push. You know, they gonna go try to push somebody else's buttons. You don't confront confrontational people, like I said, because I mean, unless you're gonna, especially if you're not in the close vicinity of these people, I just ignore people because my thing is, if you're not going to come to me and you're not trying to pose no bodily harm or anything to me, I really don't care what you say or do. I really don't. As long as you can't put your hands on me, I really don't care.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it. I never understood people who feel the need to go back and forth with other people about with things, and I just don't interact that way. It's a waste of my time.
It is a waste, and I don't really mind people that if you're talking and they don't agree with you, but they have something of substance. You know what I'm saying, to present.
Mhm.
Because normally when you argue with someone about something that's not an emotional topic, I mean it deals with logic. Then if you have something with substance to rebut what I'm speaking of, I don't have a problem with that. But most of the time, even most people turn into confrontational people.
Mhm.
Even a lot of times they just can't. If you come back with something, it's like a joust. And if you're like basically in their mind you're winning the argument, they'll get emotional behind it.
Oh yeah.
But confrontation is not a good thing. It has caused a lot of problems and even deaths. So dealing with confrontation, just don't deal with it. Ignore the ignorant, straight up.
Yeah, I that's my motto. I don't put energy. I guess I can just walk away from it because I'm not going to do a lot of arguing with people. I'm not going to do any arguing with anybody. I don't have time. I don't have time, and I really don't have the patience. At 42 years old, I don't have the patience to argue with people. I don't have the patience to listen to abstract teaching because that was one of the topics too tonight. Abstract people, people who want to cause confusion and with their words and and just I can't.
Yeah.
My tolerance level has become really low for abstract nonsense and confrontational people, and these people who want to be positive, these people that want to be negative, these people who want to be spiritual, these people that I'm tired of all. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't. Just like I said, can you just be and, grow within yourself and, learn something about yourself. Stop trying to be what everybody, stop trying to be what everybody wants you to be. Stop trying to interact and feel like you feel the need to confront and, getting other people's space and then getting in their energy and they, trying to lock into people's energy. Like I said, it's a waste of time with me. I can't do it.
It's ridiculous. Another type of person is the love person. The answer is love. Everything is love. I don't understand that concept. I really don't, because they want to try to bring everyone together and all that. What is that? What is that? It's a fantasy, definitely fantasy.
Yeah.
Something like that could never happen, and that's another thing I had to shut down. People that talk that love thing. They don't even know the definition of the word. It's a lot of ridiculousness going on. But I'm just happy that that at least someone is bringing like true intellect, true intellect to the people, man.
Well, this is something we short on in these days and times with a lot of these radio hosts and whatnot. Somebody that's bringing true intelligence, true logic, true common sense to a topic. People want to be abstract. People want to be, people want to be heavy. People want to be deep. People want to be spiritual. People want to cause confusion. People, the answer, like I said, the more you can simplify things for people to understand, the more you can just be, just concrete in your words and, and just straightforward in what you're saying, the more you're going to reach people, or at least people, even if they don't agree, at least they can't say they disagree based on, you being you being causing confusion, or that you're being too difficult to understand. They're going to just disagree just because, they tend to be confrontational. And then this knowledge here of mental equity, it's not a confrontational type of thing. It's not a confrontational knowledge. It's not a confrontational intelligence. Intelligence should never be confrontational. True intelligence, because it's all about the evolution of that person, where you don't need the interaction with other people. You don't need the back and forth with other people to move or advance in your way of thinking and your physical capabilities. You don't need that interaction. People who want to interact with you and do that, they aid in slowing down your physical evolution, your mental evolution. They aid in slowing that down. That's their purpose, because there's no mental evolution for them. That's jealousy.
That's real talk.
Yeah. All day.
Yeah, man.
All day, every day.
Well, Noob, I'm at work. I'm on the line. I'm listening, brother. Great show, great topic. And, Bathtub Lady, you call back sometime. I like your voice. You got a sexy voice, man. I know she doesn't like men, but I don't care. I don't want her either. She got a sexy voice. Call back.
Well, she got kids, so obviously she like men. She got
kids? Oh, yeah, she said she had kids. Okay.
Yeah, she like men, so, Hey.
All right, Noob, I'm out of here, man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, brother. Take care.
Oh, all right, peace.
All right, peace. Brother Reginald from Oakland. Yes. All right. We got 16 minutes to the hour of 11. I don't see my usuals in here. I'm going to take this opportunity to announce November 25th, Sunday, November 25th, the Supermen, Superwomen Project here in Brooklyn, New York City, the Supermen, Superwomen Project here in Brooklyn, New York City, at 1368 Fulton Street. 1368 Fulton Street. That's Fulton Street, between Brooklyn and New York Avenues. For information on the attending and directions, please call 347-465-3602 or 718-510-3769. Supermen, Superwomen Project here in Brooklyn, New York. Okay. Oh, I noticed a lot of people who did who were doing what was it, the rebuttals. Well, I had to do a rebuttal to somebody who made a comment about videos that was posted up on the walls of in YouTube. So a friend of mine, brother, posted up some of the show topics and on the walls, and I had people, not too many people, one or two. Well, really, it's just one or two people that tried to form some sort of rebuttal to what I put up there, and this was a perfect example of a confrontational person. This guy sat up here and did had to be a 4-minute video in response to me saying that black people were not part of the human race, that they are actually a different species of people. I said based on the hair type, based on the complexion, everything, you could tell that they're a different species totally of people. And this person, he had a rebuttal to it. He was an Israelite, or the black Israelite, the black Jews, and he didn't say that, he couldn't pretty much pinpoint what I was saying to be wrong. He just said that he didn't agree with it. His whole topic was based on him not agreeing with it. No logical reason why he didn't agree with what I was saying. Confrontational. And I made you. I don't know what your name is, but I made you a star. I put you on my Facebook, and I gave you some attention. Just because, like I said, just because you thought that much of me to look at my to sit down and listen to clips of my radio broadcast and comment on it. Though you didn't have anything intelligent to say and rebuttal against what I was saying, you just disagreed with it. But I give you an E for effort, guy. Whatever your name is, I give you an E for effort. So I'm gonna take another call. 469. 469. 469. You're on the air.
Hey, Lynn Todd, this is Terry, and yes, I am considered as usual. I can't help because the other ones didn't show up, but I'm going to always show up.
Oh, okay. Okay, Terry, how you doing?
I am excelling, thank you.
All right. Like I said, I don't see the usuals in the chat room. I see a lot of guests in there, and
yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, some people coming in late, and I'm just thinking, I don't know. Did Imani Asha leave? I like her usually in my chat rooms. I like her. Are you in the chat room?
No. I'm not in the chat room. I'm always on the line.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So tonight's topic, what did you think?
I did have. It wasn't a question, but I think it was. I want to say it's more of a statement, but it seems like to me. It's almost like when they say beggars can't be choosy.
Mhm.
When you're attracted to someone, whether you like them or not, that's just what it is. It doesn't matter. If you're attracted to a stalker, hey, you have to take it with the territory.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in other words, it's not so much as the person that you're attracting. It's like, how are you going to be choosy when it comes into your space?
Mm.
That's pretty much, as far as the kind of what the caller was, in reference to her call. You can't be choosy based on what you're attracting, because it always lies within ourselves, So, but I'm always going to enjoy the topic. I find everything. I'm going to always find something in it, always. So I do like it. I think the confrontational has a lot to do with those combative minds. You first have to have a confrontation within your own mind first before you have it on the outside.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to continue to listen.
All right. Well, I'm about to answer these last questions before I end it off. I got like 11 minutes left.
All right, cool. Great. Thanks.
All right, Terry. Thanks for calling in.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye. All right. We answer these questions and whatnot. You know my MO, those of you who know the MO. Let me go. Why are people really negative and confrontational? People are negative and confrontational because they vibrate on a low mental frequency. As I said, everything deals with mental power, mental prowess. Everything deals with mental abilities and the ability to advance beyond your certain way of thinking, your level of thinking. People always say, you carry a positive vibration. I say I carry no positive vibration. I don't carry a negative vibration. My vibe is just straight mental, because a person who's straight mental, a person who's straight into higher reception, higher intelligence, advanced intelligence, that which people falsely call spiritual, those people who vibrate on a high mental frequency, they're able to look above positive and negative and see them as the same thing from a bird's eye view. These are people that vibrate on a low submental frequency. And like I said, they need to interact off of each other and feed off of each other, in order to stir some sort of life within themselves, some sort of energy within themselves, because their frequency is low. And when your frequency is low, it's constantly looking to be boosted, even if it's on a submental level. That's why these people do that. That's why they go out and look to confront people, because their lives are really, at least in their estimation, their lives are not really worth that much. There's not much going on in their minds that, can spark anything, spark any real intelligence, spark any real, zest and zeal to carry on. So they need people to interact with. They need people to confront. They need people to keep them alive, mentally and physically. What is an abstract thinker? An abstract thinker is one who basically thinks in a state of confusion. He takes fragmented thoughts, fragmented theories, and he basically tries to mesh them together to cause confusion. This is what your abstract thinker does. Nothing is black, nothing is white, everything is gray. In order to come out with a gray outlook or overview on things, you have to do what? You have to take things from the black and things from the white, fragments of the truth, and mesh them together to create confusion, right? That's what that is. These are your abstract thinkers. They reach from both sides. You understand? And they mesh these things together, and they become your abstract thinkers, people who make it a habit or live to cause confusion, right? What do all of these types of people have in common? Confusion, right? They want to break apart the fusion of people coming together. They have the want and the desire to create confusion, to cause a state of I don't want to say I didn't want to use the word dementia, but it's kind of in the form of dementia. Anything that would cause a confusion on people, anything that would cause a miscomprehension, a misunderstanding. These people live to cause misunderstandings, right? They like the writers on Three's Company. You ever see the old show Three's Company where they would write around a gag, the writers would write around a gag, and the whole show would be based on misunderstandings and confusion, and that would be the joke? That's how these people live their lives, on misunderstandings and confusion. The joke. Their lives is like Three's Company, right? Where everything is a state of confusion, everything is misunderstood, everything is a misunderstanding, right? Do they serve a real purpose in life, these abstract, negative, and confrontational people? Well, I refer to them as your subatomic people, or your subatom people, or your people who are basically low vibrators. These are people who basically are here to fill a space for now, right? These are the people who, because at a certain point, these kind of people, right, these confrontational, negative, and abstract people, they serve the purpose because based on how life went and the evolution of life went on this planet, these people were at one time considered to be your higher thinkers. But as we are going through the state of evolution, mentally and physically, these people no longer serve a purpose. They're just leftover people from the last millennium, the past millenniums, right? So as they are no longer serving a purpose with their negativity and their confrontational, abstract ways of thinking, they're basically, exiting their way off of the planet through death, through war, destruction, whatever the case may be, through just plain boredom. These are the people who end up committing suicide. You know, the people who sit there, you know, on holidays and they'll blow their brains out. They'll take a bunch of sleeping pills because they're so lonely. You know those kind of people? Those are your confrontational people. They're lonely because there's nobody to confront. There's nobody to interact with. They're lonely, so they'll sit somewhere they'll blow their brains out, kill themselves, do whatever. When they didn't realize that there's a reason why nobody wanted to be around you. Because you are confrontational. There's always a drama with you. You're not accommodating. Right? What are confrontational people really trying to confront? My friend Terry just said it, you know, perfectly. They're trying to confront something within themselves that they will never be able to understand. Right? They're trying to chase and confront something in themselves that they will never be able to understand or confront, or they're not willing to confront. It could be questioning their sexuality. It could be a question in why they're here. It could be a question in, you know, what their purpose is in life, if they even ask that question. They're always confronting something. So they use the want to confront things themselves because they can't do it. They use it to confront other people. They make other people the focal point of their problems and their issues. Right? They reflect it outward instead of dealing with it inward. Right? Why are most of the philosophies in this society based on abstract thinking? Simply because a lot of these guys just didn't know what the hell they was talking about. So they used their cheat sheet. They copied. They took other ideas from other people, fragments of the truth, and meshed them together to cause confusion, and just so they could sound heavy and deep and smart. Right? And that's, you know, basically what your philosophers do. They take and mesh and, you know, put things together just so that they can have that idea, or they can, you know, present that idea themselves as intelligent people. Right? So, what does all this mean to the future thinkers? Well, what this tells me as a future thinker is that I don't want to be a part of these people. I want to move forward and move on from these people. I don't look for confrontation with these people. Right? So that's the end of our broadcast. Join me Wednesday. I don't know what the topic will be, but it'll be something good. I promise you. I am the intellectual ᴄᴏ_ɪᴏRᴏ. This has been State of Mentel Radio. Good night. Robin Hood theory. Gangstar. Perfect.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, and then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do.